Live from the House of LeMay Makeup and Dressing Room.
Here comes Amber. Stop what you're doing. Here comes Amber. She's just doing what she can. Here comes Amber. Cue the spotlight. Here comes Amber with 2 drinks in her hand. The matriarch of fashion, secrets to her glasses, you can't look away. Ask her, does she do it? There's really nothing to it. She's got that feminine game. If you have a party, or if you're feeling naughty, call up the House of LeMay. Here comes your favorite gal. Here comes your queen. Here comes the talk of the town. It's Amber Live tonight. The music starts playing. It's time for cabaret on Amber Live tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn off all cell phones and get ready for your host, Amber LeMay.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy August, everyone. It's August already. But you know what you need to do first? You have to share, you have to like, you have to subscribe, or you can subscribe, share, and then like. I don't care. Any order you want to do it, you go right ahead. Just make sure you do it, all right? We want to share the love tonight. Oh, we got a great show for you. But you know what? First, it's time for this week's headlines. Now, according to the Sun newspaper, the U.S. is being overrun by penis snakes. Now, this is a national emergency I can get behind or in front of wherever you need me, America. Sicilian snakes, native to South America, are blind and look like dicks. They can grow up to 32 inches in length, and that's just the white ones. The snakes were discovered in Florida. Of course they were. If an invasion of slithering dicks is going to come from anywhere, it's going to be from Florida. Paging Matt Gaetz. Speaking of an absolute penis, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson can't handle his umbrella. At a memorial service for police officers who died in the line of duty, Boris did his best Mr. Bean impression. Still thinking about those snakes, I guess. Look at that image. Come on, Boris. If Mary Poppins could do it, so can you. Even Prince Charles is like, my God, man, even I know how to use an umbrella. Simply tell your footman to do the open umbrella thing. And Charles is a product of centuries of European incest. This is the guy they chose to handle Brexit. Good luck, England. Now, Friday is National Underwear Day, that once-a-year event where we celebrate the clothes under our clothes. So pick your sexiest or most practical or most comfortable pair of undergarments and wear them under your real clothes, because you don't need to see that shit. Now, if you're an underwear model, by all means, walk around in only that. But for the rest of us, please treat it like every other day and wear your underwear, you free-balling commando hippie freaks. Just because you feel sexy doesn't mean you are sexy. And that's this week's. All right, let's find out what's going on tonight. So we got to bring in Russell to find out. So Russell, come on in.
Hey, Amber, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, Just thinking of, I got snakes on my mind. I'm not sure why.
I'm not sure why either. I'm not sure.
A Medusa complex or something. Who knows?
Yes, maybe somebody will stop by after the show.
Oh, my goodness. I see Chris Caputo's already checking in from Florida. Hey, Chris, and Bridget from Illinois. Hey. Wow, how cool. Josh, of course, he's there. Thank you, Josh. So let's tell everyone else, if this is their first time watching Amber Live, what they should be doing, Russell.
Well, the best way to watch the show And we always tell people this is on YouTube, because on YouTube you get it in full HD, which means you can see every detail of Amber. You're welcome to watch it on Facebook, on Twitch, on Twitter, everywhere else we put it, but YouTube is really the way to go. And we also have one other place tonight where you can watch, and that is on TikTok. We're doing it behind the scenes. So I think I can hear myself a little bit from TikTok. But if you're watching on TikTok, you're getting only part of the show. The best place to watch would be over on YouTube. So that's youtube.com/AmberLive. So, and you do want to like and subscribe to it and hit the notifications so you know when we go live.
Yes, because we go live. We've been going live every Wednesday for Amber Chats. Let's see, this past Wednesday, we talked everything from what we had to dinner to anal leakage. Oh, they weren't in the same conversation, but there was a lot of different conversations going on. And we had, who do we have on this past week? We had Two Toads from Montana. We had Bridget from Illinois, Chrissy B from Indiana, the whole Buck bunch from Ohio. We had Larry from Florida. We had the Gephardts watching from Tennessee. We had you in New York. We had a bunch of Vermont people. It was just a great evening chatting and commenting and just figuring out what's going on in the world. So every Wednesday night around 8:15 to 9:15, we get on and we talk. So it's fun.
Yes, and speaking of fun, it's time for my favorite part of the evening, the bustiers. So the bustiers are the people that have donated to Amber Live, that support us, and we really, really appreciate that. If you'd like to become a bustier, you can use Venmo at RJDPro, or you can go to amberlive.tv and hit the Support Amber Live button to use your credit card to send us your support. We have a couple of new bustiers this week. DJ Rockstar Aaron and Bianca Woolwick both became bustiers, and we'd like to thank them. If you'd like to become a bustier this month, all of your donations will be going to keep our website going. We have to renew that, and that's a little bit expensive, so your help would be greatly appreciated to keep it going. And also, we have 3 levels. You can give any amount you like, $1, $5. But if you give $25 or more, you'll get a sticker. If you give $100 or more, we'll send you a sticker and a magnet. And for $200 or more, you'll get a sticker, a magnet, and a mug. And Amber's got holding up a mug. If you're watching on TikTok, you can see that. Here I will. There you go. I've got one too. We love our Amber Live mugs.
That's great that both Rockstar Aaron and Bianca became bustiers. They've been guests on the show, and that's really cool that they think, hey, that was a fun experience. I want to make sure that keeps going. So thank you very much, Rockstar and Bianca. We love you and your husband. He's a Navy man. All right, so Russell, what's our caption this week? We have a caption contest.
Well, our caption this week, and every week we post a funny picture, and we want to hear your funniest captions for it. You can send those into Jack. Just label them as a caption and put it in the comments. And here's this week's picture. So if you've got a funny one-liner about that, please send them on in. We want to hear them. So. And then I do want to tell people to make sure they stay till the end of the show tonight, because I do have a big announcement to make tonight. So, and don't worry, Amber, I'm not quitting. But
am I?
No, you can't either. But we do have a big announcement, so stick around for the end of the show. But first. Oh, good. But first, we have some big guests tonight.
Yes.
First of all, we have Evan Stern, who's going to be talking about his podcast, Vanishing Postcards, which will take you on a journey through the back roads of Texas. And I think he's got quite a bit to say about that. A very interesting look at things going on off the highway. And then after that, we have Mr. Entertainment himself, Gene DiNapoli, who is just a one-man show that you won't believe. I think he's got some great stories for Amber, and You might even get him to do some of his impersonations if you beg and plead, Amber.
Ooh, I will do my best. I will do my best. All right. Well, thank you, Russell. Let's get right to it. We got a lot to cover tonight.
All right. Have fun. Bye.
Yes. That big announcement. Whoops. That big announcement at the end. I don't know what it is. I'm always the last to know, but you'll know tonight. All right. As Russell said, we got two great guests tonight. The first one is Evan Stern, who has this podcast that talks about the back roads of Texas. Sounds pretty interesting. So, Evan, come on in. Let's talk.
Hi, Amber. How's it going?
It's going fine. Hello there, Evan. So, why are you doing a podcast about the back roads of Texas?
Well, it's one of those things. It's just, I'm one of those people who just absolutely fell in love with podcasting and the oral medium of audio storytelling over the last 10 years. I'd be listening to podcasts while I was cooking this, that, and the other. And I mean, had you told me a few years ago that I'd be devoting so much energy to this, I probably wouldn't have known how to react. But just gradually I started hearing this voice saying, maybe you should see what you can do. And if there's one thing I know, it's that Texas people love to talk and they tell great stories. I live in New York. I've lived in New York long enough. I've probably earned the right to call myself a New Yorker for whenever I'm in the mood to do so. But I do my best. I try to get out of the city in January, February when it's cold. And so January of 2020, I decided to go back home to Texas to see what kind of oral histories and stories I could collect. I really didn't know where it was going to go. It very well could have been a disaster, but it quickly evolved into this series I'm working on called Vanishing Postcards. And the reason I call the show Vanishing Postcards is because each episode provides a snapshot of a different place. And if there's a thread these places have in common, it's that you really don't know how much longer a lot of them are going to be around. You're not going to read about these places in Vanity Fair or Condé Nast. You're not even going to see many of them on Instagram. But I really think that they're representative of broader cultural histories and traditions. And it's really about getting to know the people who are keeping these places going and just, hearing the incredible stories that you can find when you go to these places.
How cool. So where did you grow up in Texas?
I'm one of a proud few who can claim to actually be from the city of Austin. Everybody's moving there nowadays. I'm one of the few that can say I was born and raised in Austin.
So you weren't familiar with that many small towns growing up, or did you venture out as a youth?
Well, growing up, something that was kind of great about growing up in Austin is, and even today still, as large as it has grown, you can still get out to the country in about 15 to 20 minutes. So I was familiar with the lay of the land a bit. But what was really wonderful about this series is that I really did get to do a lot of exploring on my own. I discovered a lot of new places. I probably covered about 1,500 miles driving across Texas. I went to many places I never would have gone to otherwise. And it's been an incredible adventure. Something that has been terrific is I started this project very much as a solo traveler. Now that it's out in the world, I feel like I can now invite people like you to listen and experience some of the adventures I had along the way.
Now, how do you pick out which towns you visit?
I think that each episode really kind of informs the other. It's not like I immediately knew everything that I was going to do, but basically, for instance, the first piece that I did was on a dive bar, and I thought, okay, so now let's see what is a dance hall. Okay, so I then found this dance hall that I'd never been to before that was amazing, and then I did that, and I thought, okay, so what is a honky tonk? How is a honky tonk different from a dance hall? Let's explore that. And then I would step back and say, okay, we need a bit more diversity represented now. Let's see what kind of, let's go down to the border. Let's learn about the culture. You hear a lot about the border in the news nowadays, but what is always missed is the incredible culture and the wonderful people that live there. And so that's how it all evolved.
That's super. So what's a common thread that you see in each of these little towns?
Well, I think that I can say that there is a lot of kindness out there.
I also think too, I mean, whenever we think about art and culture, I mean, I think that we're kind of conditioned to think of palaces of civilization like the Met and the Louvre and whatnot. But the truth is that art and culture is everywhere. And what's more, some of the best of it comes from incredibly overlooked places. And so I think that really is something that you will find throughout the series. And speaking towards that matter, you know, we are living in a horribly polarized, divided moment right now. I don't believe that anything that we have lived through over the last 6 years should be normalized at all. I will be the first to say that. But I do think one of the rare things that provides an opportunity for agreement right now is culture. And that's really what the show is all about celebrating right there.
All right, you go into these small Texas towns and you go, "Hi, I'm from New York. I want to talk to you." What's their reaction?
Well, you know, the thing of it is I find that they are so excited to see that someone has taken an interest in visiting these places. People really are eager to talk about what they do, talk about their towns, talk about their heritage. And I really haven't found much in the way of antagonism. And it's interesting. I started working on the show before the pandemic hit. Back then, I could really just walk into a bar unannounced and just start talking to people. And in fact, like the first 6 episodes in the series, that's pretty much exactly what I was doing. After that, you know, I did have to let people know in advance what was going on. But I think that, and of course, I had to be very careful and mindful and you know, using all of the safety protocols. But I think as a result of that, you will discover that as the series progresses, there is great diversity in the places that I visit. And you also tend to get to know some of the subjects a bit better because of that.
Now, have you gone into a town and they say, "Oh, we've heard of you," or are you a celebrity of sorts? Yes?
Not yet, because we're new. We just launched the series in April, but I can say I was back in Austin just late June, and I went back to one of the places that I had visited to gather some more material for an end of season special. I was in talking to the bartender, and, you know, a complete stranger, wasn't even a regular at the bar. The bartender didn't know who this guy was, but he walked up. He said, "Listen, I just want to say I really like your podcast a lot. Keep doing what you're doing." So, and I get letters too from, I get some of the kindest, most wonderful emails from people. I have no idea who they are, but, you know, they're responding to the show, and I've gotten a lot of terrific, warm feedback.
Okay, someone says, "Podcast? What the heck's a podcast?" How would you define it?
Well, I mean, it's an audio medium. It's like radio, except unlike radio, you can, you know, download it, you can listen to it whenever you want to. And, you know, I don't have to deal with the constraints of radio. If I have a show that pretty much all of my episodes come in like around the 27-minute mark, but occasionally I'll go over that. And look, if someone wants to swear on my show, I'm going to let them do that. You know, I actually, one of the few criticisms I've only heard from one person, but someone said, I like your show, but, you know, they're saying the F-bomb here and there. And I mean, you're really limiting your audience. I said, no, you know what? I have so much respect for anyone who is open enough to sit down and let me record them, that if they want to swear, I'm going to let them swear. Authenticity is really important to me. And I think that's a whole part of the experience.
How do you get a podcast out there? Do you sign up to a network? Do you subscribe to something?
So, yeah, I mean, if you're new to podcasts, basically, you know, any smartphone has a podcast app. If you're on, you know, if you have an iPhone, Apple has one pre-installed, so you can just search for, or, you know, if you're on Android, whatever, Spotify, Stitcher, there are all sorts of apps out there that you can download. You can just search for Vanishing Postcards on those apps, or you can visit vanishingpostcards.com, where we have we have a listing of all the places where you can subscribe and listen to the show.
Well, but how do you get the word out there?
Oh, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
Believe me, I am learning and I'm working on that. But I've been fortunate enough to I've gotten a lot of really good press and earned media. Digital Trends has named the series one of the best podcasts of 2021. I've also gotten great notices in the Dallas Morning News, Austin American Statesman, San Antonio Express. But I've also done a lot of work to, I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of other great podcasters. And so I do my part to, I'll mention them on my show. They'll run an ad for mine on theirs. And it's a very, audience growth is very slow. I mean, one of the challenge of podcasts is that audio is the least discoverable medium, but you will find that those who listen to it are incredibly dedicated. I can say that the audience that I have, it's growing, it's consistent, and it's an incredibly organic and engaged audience that I do have.
So you must be making a lot of money.
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, let me tell you, baby. No. Initially, I actually did have a network behind me. There was a network that was behind the show. They ordered 16 episodes, which I went about fulfilling. But as often happens in business, due to skittish ad revenue, that deal fell apart. Nevertheless, I am... my main focus is audience growth, so that we can eventually monetize. And I am, no matter what it takes, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. And there will be a season 2. And because really this concept, I mean, it's season 1 is entirely Texas based. Basically, I mean, there are many reasons as to why it happened that way. One of which was being, back home in Texas during the pandemic. But really the concept of this series can be applied to New York City. It can be applied to California. It can be applied to London, wherever, because issues of change are going on everywhere. And every place has culture and is wrestling with change. So the goal for season 2 is absolutely to expand the map beyond Texas, unquestionably.
Where do you get your money then? How do you survive if you're not making the money off the pod?
Oh, well, hey, please. I'm my background is as an actor, and any actor will tell you we find all kinds of crazy side gigs wherever we can. Believe I don't have to tell that to you, Amber.
That's right. Our side hustles are multiple. That's for sure.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Evan, for talking to us. I want you to hang around, and I want you to come back and talk to Gene later on.
I sure will. Thanks for having me, Amber. It's been fun.
Oh, yes. Thank you. It's been great having you. Yes. Thank you, Evan. All right. That was fun. Learned a lot about Texas, and that'd be interesting to go elsewhere as well. All right. So last week we ran out of time, and we couldn't run an episode of Rusty Peen. Well, we made sure we have time this week. So come on in, Rusty Peen.
Thinking and drinking with Rusty Peen. Dude, welcome to another edition of Thinking and Drinking. I'm Rusty Peen, president of the Beaver Pond Guns and Tackle Society. Our mission is to arm more drag queens because a loaded drag queen is a safe drag queen. Dude, we got a fucking troll in the house tonight, dude. You know who it is? Cousin fucking Craig, dude. You saw my video about toolboxes and shit, and he said that when I said that the back end of a hammer was called the peen, it only applies to a fucking ball peen hammer. Well, excuse me, fucking Cousin Craig, I ain't got one of those, cause I didn't go to no fancy fucking poison ivy college like fucking Dirtmouth or nothing, so I do the best I can with the fucking tools I got. Tonight we're going to talk about something that touches me close here in my heart. We're going to talk about English fucking language. So I was drinking with his college professor one time at the bar, He was a fucking smart guy. He read books and shit, not just books with like people with the nipples and shit, but there was like words and shit in there. I mean, he said that there was the nipples and words too, but it's all good. But anyway, this guy was a fucking college teacher. He said half the students didn't know what a fucking verb was. I said, shit, dude. I know what a fucking verb is and shit. Dude, a verb is when you fucking do shit. What's a fucking verb? I was a resident substitute teacher at the Beaver Pond Little Beavers Montessori School. If I can teach those fuckers a thing or two, I can teach you fuckers a thing or two. Gonna teach you fuckers what fucking words are. We got all different parts of speech. Parts of speech. You got fucking nouns, adjectives, fucking... Oh, most important one of all, interjaculations. Interjaculations are the fun one where he's like, dude, and shit, and holy shit, dude. This is build a sentence. You need three things. You need a subject, you need a verb, and you need a predicate. That's all you need, dude. Got a sentence right there. Now you may be wondering, what the fuck is a predicate? A predicate is when you do something that causes something else to react to the thing. Was that what you did? Predicate. Let's start with an easy one. The drag queen smokes the bud. Fucking find the verb. Well, no, it's an easy one. The verb is smokes. Right there, smack dab in the middle. So you got subject, verb, predicate. So on one side, you got drag queen, and on the other side, she got some bud. And in the middle, she's smoking it, dude. Present tense. Keep it nice and simple. Let's not muck things up getting into the past tense, you know? Okay, dude. So, you got a drag queen, she's a subject. You got the verb, she's smoking, and the bud. That's the predicate, dude. Simple as that. Another word for a predicate. If you're fucking cousin Craig, you might call it the direct object, dude. And if you're speaking fucking Latin, you might say that it's in the accusative declination. In which case, you would want to put the subject and then the direct object and then a fucking verb, cousin Craig. If you're speaking Latin and shit, you decline the noun and the accusative. Suddenly you got subject, predicate, then the verb. Dude. So suddenly it sounds like the drag queen smoked bud, as we all know, translates to trans regina herba fumit. Oh shit, did you know that, cousin Craig? I teach you that fucking dirt mouth and shit? Make it past second declination and shit? Lesson learned, cousin Craig. Dude, they teach you about fucking gerundives, dirt mouth college? You know what fucking gerundive is? When you got a verb acting as an adjective, like smoking, thinking, drinking. Okay, dude, let's try another one. You got a sentence like, dude, I'm gonna fucking drop kick that fucker in the fucking throat. Okay, dude, you got a subject, a verb, and a predicate, but this time we got a future indicative. Say, gonna. And gonna, you know, it means you're gonna. It's inevitable, dude. It ain't gonna happen. You know, there ain't two ways around it. That shit's gonna go out. I'm gonna fucking drop kick that fucker in the fucking throat, dude. Anyway, so we got a longer part of the predicate. Oh shit, dude. I'm is subject. Gonna, future indicative right there, dude. You got gonna drop kick that fucker. Well, drop kick's the verb, but that fucker, clearly he's a predicate, dude, but the whole fucking thing is a predicate, dude. The whole fucking thing. Drop that fucker in the fucking throat. I mean, it's you know, it's descriptive. What else is there to say? I'm gonna fucking drop kick that fucker in the fucking throat, dude. It's like beautiful. It's like Shakespeare and shit right there, dude. Dude, that's a fucking beautiful thing right there. That's a Shakespeare song right there. Said so in fucking Hamlet himself. Dude, I'm gonna drop kick that fucker. Dude, I lost count. Is it I Elvis? Dude, is it fucking I Elvis Presley, dude? He said it in his fucking helmet. He was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking drop kick that fucker in the fucking throat. Oh shit, no, dude, that ain't I Elvis Presley, dude. Nah. Dude, I'm Rusty P, and I hope y'all learned something today. I did.
Thinking and drinking with Rusty P.
I'm so happy that Evan earlier said he didn't mind people dropping the F-bomb, because I think there was quite a few there, from what I could understand. Russell, come in here. Russell.
Hello, Amber.
I think Cousin
Every
Craig
week,
appreciated
Rusty
that.
gets worse.
Or
I
better,
hope he
depending
did.
on. We got a lot of great comments in the section there about liking what he was doing. Oh, that's pretty good. That was pretty good. Someone did notice the little fireball bottles in the soap dish, though. That was pretty cool.
He is collecting them.
All right, we have Mr. Entertainment coming up later on, as well as a special Rocco appearance and Boog and Shug. And what else we have, Russell? Want to show the caption picture.
Well, we still have the caption going on. So if you've got a great caption for that and you haven't sent it in yet, please send it in to Jack via the comments, and we'll talk about those at the end of the show. I do want to remind people about the bustiers, and you can help us out by Venmoing us at RJD Pro or using your credit card at amberlive.tv, and that's all going to go to keep our website up and running this month because it's coming due. And then we have a word from one of our sponsors.
Hey, it's Lucy Bell. Have you visited the Amber Live store to get your own amazing Amber Live merch? Just visit amberlive.tv and you can see all the incredible items we have for you. Regular coffee mugs, large coffee mugs, and even magic coffee mugs. T-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, tote bags, and even beach towels. Y'all, they make great gifts for your friends. I've got mine. Just visit the Amber store at amberlive.tv and order yours today.
Yes,
Yay.
Yay. Russell, you disappeared from
I've got
TikTok.
mine. I did because it was causing an echo, so I think your phone's still a little too loud. Your speaker's picking it up. I did want to post a picture though of someone out there that recently spotted on their vacation an Amber Live towel being used, so those are available as well at the store.
Yes. They said a comment, something about sitting on my face. It wasn't very complimentary.
Yes, I wasn't going to say that, but
it was good seeing Lucy Bell. Where's she been?
I don't know. Sometimes rumors are flying around about Betty Ford, but I don't think so. I think she's just enjoying her summer.
Well, we people are asking for more bitching in the kitchen. So Lucy Bell, get in that kitchen, girl.
People need to know what to cook.
All right, Russell. We'll see you later. Yes. All right. So now it's time for tonight's top 5. And it's the top 5 things I'd do if I were in the Olympics. Number 5, I'd make them play Judy Garland, preferably the trolley song, in place of the national anthem when I'm on the podium. Number 4, I'd perform CPR on the men's swim team, whether they need it or not. Number 3, I'd take first in everything. I'm Amber LeMay, damn it. I only wear gold. And number 2, I'd carry a huge portrait of Joe Biden to remind the world that Trump is no longer our president. And the number 1 thing I'd do if I were in the Tokyo Olympics, I'd give Simone Biles a hug and thank her for talking about mental health the way we talk about physical health. You're the real champ, Simone. Thank you for all you've done. All right. Have you been watching the Olympics? Lots of fun stuff to watch. All right. So our next guest, he calls himself Mr. Entertainment. Let's see if he lives up to it. Come on in, Gene.
Hi, Amber. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Gene. I've been looking forward to this conversation. All right, you tell us you're Mr. Entertainment. How did that start? When did you realize that you were going to be an entertainer?
Well, ever since the young age of 5 years old, I knew I wanted to perform. And when I first started singing in public at 14, it was probably my mother who pushed me the hardest. And then when I started to do acting and singing and DJing and emceeing and producing shows, my mother gave me the moniker Mr. Entertainment.
What were some of the early songs that you sang? Who were you singing?
Well, when I first started singing live, I did only Elvis Presley.
Only Elvis. Oh my. Was this the early Elvis or was this the later on Elvis?
Well, my voice matured when I was young, so I always had a deep voice. So I did the Vegas Elvis even at the age of 14, 15 years old. And we did that for about 20 years. And then I had which I did top 40. And then I started to do Blues Brothers. And now I do everything from Sinatra to doo-wop to disco.
What's your favorite Elvis song?
I have two of them. Burning Love is my favorite fast song. And my favorite slow song of Elvis is My Way.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So where do you do your performing?
Well, I'm based out of the New York tri-state area, but we've done cruise ships to Cuba, Alaska. I've performed, I think, in 46 of the 50 states, and just anywhere we could get a gig. You know, we've got a very good following here in the New York area. I do the casinos. I was the house Elvis at BB King's in Times Square for 8 years. And it's my life's blood. I love performing.
What other type of venues have you performed in? You said the casinos and
yeah, a lot of Italian restaurants, pubs, a lot of parties, and a lot of charity work. I perform probably every day before the pandemic in nursing homes and hospitals to lift the spirits of the people that are in those facilities.
Is this a living? Do you make a living by being Mr. Entertainment?
I do. With the help of my beautiful wife, Paulette, we realized about 15 years ago that entertainment made me happy. And my wife said, I'd rather you make 1,000 a week entertaining than 5,000 a week being aggravated. So why don't you focus on the entertainment? And that's when I started to produce shows, comedy shows, doo-wop shows. And then I got into the acting gig. So, you know, before COVID, we were doing 5 to 10 nursing homes a week. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, either weddings, parties, or nightclubs.
Do you have a band that backs you up or do you use recordings?
It depends on the situation. When I do the nursing homes or the restaurants, I use the background tracks, which I sing live over. But when I do the casinos and I do the corporate gigs and I did BB King's, I have a band that I use. We started off back in the 80s with the band called Lightning. And then I went solo. And now we're back with the Gene DiNapoli show band.
Ooh, I like the name of that. That's very cool. So you said you go into acting. What acting gigs have you had?
Well, you know, I did many years ago as Elvis. I did commercials and little cameos. And then about 4 years ago, I decided to try out for a part in a John Gotti TV show called KINGPIN. And out of 5,000 Italian-American actors across the country, I was cast as one of John Gotti's friends, Angelo, and they flew me to South America for 3 weeks.
How was that?
It was an amazing experience. The first job I went out for, I got, and it was a lot of tension because we were in Bogota, Colombia, and at the time there was a lot of discomfort in the government. So we would film our scenes while we were ducking bullets from the military.
Who was in that show? Anyone that we might know?
It was a lot of people that appear on Blue Bloods. It was on the History Channel. Joe Corvino played John Gotti. Ralph Bracco played Neil Delacroce. Roy DeMeo was played by Paul Tully. Craig Rivera played Sammy the Bull. And I played Angelo Ruggiero, John Gotti's best friend.
Did you ever meet any of the real people?
Yes,
Perhaps. Perhaps.
I-
They don't call you Mr. Entertainment for nothing, do they?
I've been in business 41 years, and I've come across all sorts of characters in my travels. But I actually had a discussion with John Gotti when I was about 22, 23 years old.
And you live to tell it. Tell about it.
Oh,
You were doing entertainment going out before the pandemic, and have you started? Are you back out there now doing your shows?
yeah, it never stopped. What I wound up doing was a lot of charity work from my house. I was doing Facebook Live to raise money for different organizations because I was getting bored. And where I live in New York, right above us, there's a place called Westchester County, and they had a real relaxed COVID regulations. So we've been working throughout the pandemic once or twice a month, but to half a house. So, you can't charge people what you did pre-COVID. So I was actually working twice as hard to make the same money, but it was still rewarding in a good way.
How do you see New York? You opened up quite big, but now the mayor is talking about some closing down. Is it? What do you feel about that? What's going to happen?
Well, New York is the city that never sleeps, and we've rebounded from some major catastrophes, and we will rebound again. But I do see some businesses not reopening. It's not the way I would have handled it. But then again, I'm not in power. I think they jumped the gun when they closed down the city. I think it could have been done in steps. We're a city that thrives on tourism.
Yeah.
And if you stop tourism, you stop the economy. I don't agree with it, but who am I?
Do you see entertainment changing from what it was pre-pandemic? Do you see any new trends or any different approaches?
Unfortunately, the one trend I see is a lot of live shows, which really does not work well when you feed off an audience. I don't care how much you get paid for a show. If you're working to a camera, it's very hard to get a give and take.
Yes.
So, I don't do everything I do for money. Of course, money makes the world go round, but I do shows just for the sheer love of it. And when there's nobody to react off of, I get depressed.
All right. You've done all these things. What would be your ideal entertainment gig?
You know what, Amber? Between my podcast, comedy, acting, singing, all I want to do is bring smiles to people's faces. I don't care what form of entertainment I could do it as, but I am a born entertainer. And as long as I could do that till the day I leave this earth, that's my greatest reward. And bringing smiles to people's faces, whether it's 5-year-old children at the Ronald McDonald House or 95-year-old people in a nursing home. If I did that, then I've done my job as a human being.
That's lovely. That's a lovely thought. What's the largest crowd you've ever performed in front of?
About 16,000. We did an Elvis festival in the Midwest. There was like 10 guys. We did the life story of Elvis in a football stadium. And I was not only one of the stars, I was the MC. And the stage manager came into my trailer to tell me we were ready. And I said, how many people do we have out there? He said, 15, 16. I said, 100? That's great. He goes, no, 16,000. I said,
That's very exciting. Someone told me you do impressions.
Well, I don't do impressions per se, but with the Elvis and the Blues Brothers, I try to pay tribute to those acts. So it's not an impression like Charlie Callis or Rich Little. It's a tribute show is what it is.
All right, you mentioned two great performers from a bygone era. Who was your influence as growing up and as you entered the entertainment field?
Elvis, of course, was my main influence. I've been an Elvis fan since I'm 5. And Elvis lived his life as royally and as over the top as anybody. But then, of course, coming from an Italian household, Frank Sinatra, if Elvis was God, Frank Sinatra was Jesus Christ. And then, my mother loved the doo-wop. My father loved the Italian. My stepfather loved a mix of everything. So I grew up everything from Al Jolson to Elvis to Motown to the Tramps, everything. To
Well,
Kiss.
that's what's your next live gig?
Actually, tomorrow night in Pelham Manor in Westchester County in New York, I'm doing a summer concert in the park. It's a variety show where I do a little bit of everything. I like my variety show because I'm not boxed in to any one type of performer. So if I look at the crowd and I do a Johnny Cash song and they like it, I do another one. Or I do Neil Diamond, or I do Elvis, or I do doo-wop. It's a real out-of-the-box show, which is more entertaining than just Elvis or just the Blues Brothers, just this. It's a more rounded show.
When you do a show like that, are you by yourself, or do you have a staff, a crew with you, some techies, roadies?
My staff is my beautiful wife, Paulette, who runs my sound and the show. Tomorrow night, Tommy, my sound man, is going to be with me. And then what I do to make it interesting, I invite 3 or 4 of my performer friends to come up, sing a song by themselves, and then we do a duet together. So every 15 minutes, I introduce somebody who I think is talented and I like, and I introduce them to my crowd, and then I do a duet with them. Like tomorrow night, we have a Victoria who does a Tom Jones song, and then we'll do a song together. We have Caroline Del Judas, who's a wonderful 60s singer. We have Jeannie Claire, who does one of the best versions of Crazy. We just, we really mix it up every year. It's called the Gene DiNapoli Variety Show because I really think the variety shows of the past were truly entertainment.
If you didn't like what was happening, there was something new, something different happening in the next 5 minutes. I agree with you.
Oh.
I agree. Very good. All right. I tell you what, let's bring Evan back in. And you listened to Evan earlier. And so I want you to ask him a question or two. And Evan, do you have a question for Mr. Entertainment?
Well, yeah, Gene. I mean, I'm an entertainer, a performer as well. I mean, I have a lot of friends in the business, and a lot of my friends here in New York argue that the entertainment scene in the city was much better when the mob was running the show. Do you agree with that? And if so, why do you think that was?
I do agree with it, and I'll tell you why. However somebody makes a lot of money, whether it's illegal or illegal, it goes back into the economy. When you have things stopped, the money gets scarce, and nightclubs and places like that cannot thrive on one type of person. You need an eclectic bunch of people and their money to survive. So, no, I do agree that back in the 50s and 60s and 70s and early 80s, when people made their money elsewhere, there was a lot of it. I don't condone things, but I do understand it. There was a lot of money going around up till the mid 80s.
So, Gene, do you have a question for Evan?
I do. Since you've been doing your podcast, Vanishing Postcards, has anything vanished before your eyes since you started? Has there been one landmark or one place that disappeared?
Well, the very first, it's not a place, but the very first, so the very first place that I profiled in the series is this ancient dive bar in Austin called the Dry Creek Cafe. And so the very first person that I interviewed in Austin was their bartender. She's a woman by the name of Angel. At the time she was 68. The bar opened in 1953. She was only the 3rd bartender to ever work at this bar. And very sadly, within about 3 months of our interview, she died. And so I'm incredibly grateful that I have her voice preserved on the record for posterity.
Sure. I want to tell you that being a New Yorker myself, a native New Yorker born and bred, maybe we could collaborate on Vanishing Postcards in New York.
Oh, there are plenty of New York stories that are worth uncovering. Absolutely. The challenge with New York is time. It's hard to make appointments with people, and everyone is so pressed for time in New York. It's a challenge. But no, man, I could have a field day in New York as well. Absolutely.
I agree.
Now, one of the things about time and people, as we found out with getting guests on the show, is they can find the time to sit in front of a computer for a half hour and talk, so that'd be great if you two could get together and create something. Let me know.
If I may, I have my own podcast, which I do mostly Mondays, but now I have to do it on Tuesday because of the show. And I interview celebrities of the past, doo-wop singers, 60s stars, 70s. And out of the 150 people I've contacted, only 3 have told me no.
Yep.
And those people eventually are going to come to me and say, I want to do your podcast, because we've grown in 47 weeks. We've grown from 200 people to 20,000 a week. And I think everybody has a story to tell. Mm-hmm. So it's just if you get them at the right time. Mm-hmm. You can't ask a restaurant to get interviewed at 6 o'clock at night in the middle of the dinner rush. You have to ask them at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So
very good.
People the right way, everybody will say yes.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, thank you for saying yes to us to come on tonight's show. It's been a great show, great conversation. Good luck to both of you. Fascinating podcast. And I've already seen in comments where people have signed up for your podcast. So that's great. So thank you very much, men. Have a wonderful rest of your summer.
Thank you, Amber. Lots of love.
All right. Thank you. All right. I love it when they talk to each other and connections happen. Yes. That is great. All right. So Rocco could not talk to us in person tonight, but I think Russell has a recording that he sent. Let's see if we can watch that.
Rocco Zamboni versus the internet.
Hey, how you all doing out there? It's Rocco Zamboni, author of A Crazy Night with Rocco and His 3 Monkeys by Rocco Zamboni, and author of Why Lesbianism Isn't Always a Good Thing by Rocco Zamboni. I'm here to talk to all you ladies out there. Are you unpleased with the size of your boobs? When you go shopping for bras, do you have to go to the boys department? When you lie on the beach, do people often mistake you for a surfboard? Do people often call you sir or that chick with no boobs? You've thought about boob jobs and said, I just don't have the money. Well, take that Kleenex out of your bras and wipe them tears goodbye. Cause if I got news for you, introducing Rocco Zamboni's Boob in a Box. That's right, Boob in a Box by Rocco Zamboni. Why spend thousands of dollars on plastic surgeons when for $19.95 you could have realistic looking boobs in the comfort of your own home? But hey, why take my word for it? Why not ask one of the several women whose lives have been changed since using Boob in a Box?
Well, before no one even used to notice that I was a woman. But since I've got Boob in a Box, they can't stop staring.
It was so easy. Totally worth the 3 weeks of vomiting and diarrhea and hemorrhoids and vaginal itch and hives.
And there's very few side effects.
I haven't been able to kiss my boyfriend, put on makeup, eat or walk upright, but my new boobs make me feel so sexy. Thank you, Rocco.
Don't thank me, thank Boob in a Box.
I used to only be a 36 double D, but look at me now.
Wow, those are some boobs. But it doesn't stop there, because Boob in a Box could even help all you fellas who just can't get any, if you'll know what I mean. I'm telling you, I got so excited about Boob in a Box that I got the idea for a take-home penis enlargement kit too. But for some reason, I'm not allowed to talk about it on TV. So, if you want to live the life of a stripper on a teacher's income, you need Boob in a Box.
Boob in a Box comes with all you see here, so order now. Send 1995 to I Want Boobs, care of Habib's Hot Dog Stand, corner of 23rd and 3rd, New York, New York, 10009. Warning, may cause death.
Love that Roscoe.
Oh, I think that was filmed a few months ago. Yes, thank you, Rocco. Hey, Jack, are you here tonight? You weren't here last week. There you are.
Here I am. I made it.
Jack, yes, we didn't see you before the show.
As always, it is a hard act to follow, Rocco.
It is.
Thank you for giving me that privilege.
You're going to be in Vermont soon, aren't you?
I am. I'm skipping town. I'm getting out of New York for a few days, and I'm going to come see you.
All right. Can't wait to have you in my basement. All right. So, as I saw a lot of comments on the side there, what did we have for the caption?
Well, Russell, let us see that caption again. That picture. We have the man right here who is in some sort of shelter, and we have a lot of things. Starting off with Cousin Craig, who we should say happy birthday to.
Yes,
says,
we will.
Let's see if the big bad wolf can blow down a house made of bananas.
Bananas.
And we got Two Toads who said, "I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque." We got more. We have, I'm just scrolling through them right now. We have a bunch of comments. That's why it's hard to find. Kim says, "All mine, and you can't have any." And also, "Yes, I am the king of bananas." Bridget said, "Banana is my safe word." And we have a couple more. Oh, no, one more. We have, if I can find it, Ron says, "You can't get me, nanner, nanner, nanner."
Oh, that's a fun one.
But there's a couple more comments that I wanted to bring up aside from the caption.
Yes.
Let's
please
see.
do.
First of all, when we were talking about Lucy Bell earlier, we had a comment about that from Two Toads who said, "Lucy Bell versus Dixie versus Biscuit. This needs to happen." And there is a consensus. It seems pretty unanimous that we want to see what's going to happen with Tupperware and bitching in the kitchen and Biscuit just calling everyone a whore. And one thing that I noticed was Karen, who said "rabbit, rabbit," and I'm with you, Karen. Do you know about rabbits? On the first of the month, the first thing that you're supposed to say in the morning is "rabbit, rabbit." Now, I say 2 rabbits, but some people say 3 rabbits, but I think that's just, well, bananas.
Very good.
Thank
All
you.
Right. Hey, Russell, come in. Come in, Russell.
Rabbit, rabbit.
I've never heard
knows.
that. I did not know that.
Very few people do. I think it's a New England thing, but it could be made up.
I think,
well, it was
think
made up somehow.
Somebody made it.
I think I've heard it before, but from Jack. So.
Yes.
Oh, Russell, what a great show that was. Our 2 fascinating guests we had.
Yes. And as always, they just turn out to be even better than we expected. So
Yes.
That
I did
was
see some
great.
people signing up for the podcast. So that's great that they
Good. That's what we like. So
yes.
And then next week we're going to have another great guest, and we are going to have Quintrice Crawford from The Real Tea. And she is just absolutely adorable and lovely, and it's going to be a fantastic interview for everyone to watch. You're going to enjoy it. So
we recorded that earlier this week, and she is wonderful, so uplifting, entertaining, happy, joyful, and she sings too. So
and we will be here live, but her interview we had to record ahead of time for scheduling reasons. So but she is fantastic. It's going to be a great one. And then we have the first part of a big announcement. I'm not going to reveal all tonight.
Oh, come on, Russell.
Not all. I know it's so tough, but in 2 weeks we're going to have our very first RuPaul Drag Race alum on the show. So that, and I'm not saying who yet. Well, you'll have to tune in next week to find out. But they will be on the show in 2 weeks. So that's coming up. That's the big announcements.
We've got two lined up. Yes. That's great. So. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Jack. See you in person soon. Yes. And Russell, you have a good week as well. All right. As mentioned earlier, well, first, Rusty Peen was saying some not so kind things about our cousin Craig, who you saw last week, who was filling in for Jack, and he pops in every once in a while. And he's our accompanist as well. Well, today's his birthday. Yes, August 1st is cousin Craig's birthday, and we've had so much fun with Craig throughout the years. He's always up for a good time. We put him in costumes, and there's one of our Christmas calls. He's our accompanist. That was on a New Year's Eve at the Flynn Space. We were singing and performing, and let's see what else we have. That was at the Miss Vermont contest that I was a runner-up in with a bunch of our good friends there for support, and that was down in P-Town a couple of years ago. And but cousin Craig's been a great friend of ours for almost 30 years, and we couldn't do what we could do without cousin Craig. That is from the Magic Hat Mardi Gras. We went as a 6-pack of Magic Hat beer, and Craig was hocus pocus. And there we are on one of our cruises. So thank you very much, cousin Craig, for being a good cousin, a great friend, and we couldn't do what we do without you. So happy birthday, buddy.
Amber, we have a call in all the way from Beaver Pond, somebody who has a message for cousin Craig.
Dude, what the fuck's going on over there, Amber? Holy shit, dude, I'm on TV, dude.
Rusty, we did your segment. We're done with you.
Dude, I'm fucking back. I wanted to say happy fucking birthday to cousin Craig and play my fucking song if that's alright with you, dude.
Go ahead.
First things first, dude, you gotta fucking crack a fucking bottle of champagne, fucking fireball.
Fireball, yeah, it's gotta have that fireball.
Yeah, dude, I ran out of fucking champagne this week. I had to pay the child support bill. Hoping to get rich enough so that I don't have to pay no child support. You know how that goes. You get so fucking rich, you don't have to fucking worry about your money problems no more. Dude, want to hear a song?
Yes.
All right, dude, here we go. Key of fucking F for fucking. All right, dude. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Shit, where's the B flat? Happy birthday, cousin Craig. Happy birthday to you. Oh, that's for you, cousin Craig.
All right, thank you, Rusty. That came from the heart. I know it did. All right, yeah. One fireball too many, I think. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us here the 1st of August. We've got some great guests coming up in the future couple weeks, so hope you'll be back to see them. I'm going to be here. Hope you will be too. Bye-bye.
This is the stupidest cartoon I've ever seen.
I keep telling you, this isn't a cartoon.
Then why is that coyote always saying stuff?
That's not a coyote. That's Amber.
Are you sure?
No.